Alright guys, welcome to the second episode of the Confidence Code for Gay Men. So we are in, where are we right now? Taupo. We're in Taupo right now, traveling New Zealand. This episode, I'm gonna go on the fly here for you, but specifically if you want more love in your life, you want more confidence in your life, you want the body of your dreams, okay, you want to feel better in your body, you want to make more money in 2025, but also do it in a way which feels good for you, where you are really living a life of purpose, this video is for you. So I used to struggle with all of the above. I struggled with money, I struggled with self-worth, I struggled with my body, binge eating habits, I felt very self-conscious about myself. Even though I would get into romances, I would constantly self-sabotage because I would not feel good at my core. So there was a part of me that felt like I didn't deserve love. So even though I could put on a facade of connecting, there was something deeper going on which I was trying to protect from the world. And from doing healing, specific healing work, I have healed really a big chunk. I'm still healing today, but a part of every single one of those, to appearing on DNA magazine, 𝐒𝐭𝐨𝐫, earning over 7 figures, creating a loving marriage, having the freedom to travel the world, living a life where my previous self would have thought impossible. And my biggest mission, right, is helping a lot of other gay men who have also struggled with self-worth, felt like it wasn't possible to really create the life of their dreams. Now, this specific episode is on unblocking, where unblocking is the crucial thing that you absolutely have to do if you want to see success for yourself. And what unblocking is, right, is really letting go and healing all those messages and stories that are holding you back. What I mean by unblocking is this. I'm going to share with you one quick story. So I grew up seeing my parents fight, okay? And my parents would fight over money, or they would fight over things in the kitchen even. But what it did for me is I created stories, because especially from the ages of 0 to 7 is when you are the most impressionable. We as kids are the most impressionable. We come into this earth, right, as these beautiful, whole, authentic souls, but we go through different life experiences which programs our mind. And from seeing my parents fight, I started to believe a few things. Number one was that love is like a battlefield. Love is always going to be hard, and love is traumatic, and can be violent, love can be aggressive, love can be passive aggressive. And because of that, even though in my 17, 18, right, I did actually create some beautiful relationships, all that stuff would surface at some point where I would start to self-sabotage. I would feel angry, I would feel depressed, anxious, because all those stories were running through my mind. And it would push people away. What I also developed from the story, right, because some of the arguments with money, and my father would often say, hey, don't be selfish on wanting to spend on this. Do you think I'm an ATM bank? Do you think money grows on trees? All these messages, right, and seeing my parents fight over money, I started to believe like money was a bad thing. Earning money was selfish. Earning money is not okay. I'm not worthy of money. Or if I did earn money, I would become a bad person, bad human being. I also believe that money causes problems like fights and arguments. And until I started to distill and what I call unblock and let go of all those beliefs about money, that was holding me back. I was running my entire life. I'm gonna give you one more story about body side of things, right? Was I grew up with food as my coping mechanism, as some of you know already, right? I would binge use food to feel better. And I was the chubby kid, right? So there was people that would pinch my cheeks and tap on my belly and say things like, so cute, whilst I hated it. I hated feeling that way. But what it did though was it built a story around Jared, where Jared is the chubby guy. Jared is the fat kid. Jared struggles with food. Jared is this person. And I would try all these different diets, all these different workouts on the surface level, and feel really frustrated that I wasn't seeing the results that I wanted. And I would always backtrack. I would binge eat again. I felt depressed about my body. I felt a lot of shame. Now, until I unblocked all of those stories and shame, my body didn't change. But when I really started to do the inner work on every single piece of my life, life started to transform. So what is unblocking, and how can you use this for yourself? Unblocking, first and foremost, is to look at your past life, from 0 to 7 especially, but even 0 to 10, 0 to 14. What were those key experiences at a young age which started to form a story in your mind about you, about your identity, about who you are? What are those stories that don't serve you today, but you are still holding on to? Now, I've worked with a lot of gay men, right? A lot of different people from different backgrounds, different levels of trauma, some from sexual abuse, some from physical abuse, some from losing people, special people, to suicide, to the lighter stuff. Like, hey, maybe just a little comment from your dad who said like, hey, you're getting a bit chubby, right? Or maybe it's a comment from someone like, hey, you look funny in that t-shirt. They may happen at different scales. But the importance here is if you build a story around that about yourself that is limiting you, telling you that you are destined to be out of shape, you're destined to be poor, broke, you're destined to struggle with love, that program is running your life right now. Unless you have consciously, intentionally healed this doesn't just, quote unquote, fix itself. Time doesn't just fix things. Unless you intentionally really look at it and heal, these things are blocking you from the life that you want to live, that you can live. If you found yourself going in circles, right, trying things that just feels like it's not working, whether with your body, with love, with money, career, fulfillment, doing this work will truly free you. Will truly free you. Now, how do you actually start to unblock? First and foremost, you got to start to build awareness. Go back to that time and find what are those things and stories that you've been telling yourself. Okay, that's number one. Now, number two then is start to find other stories that you can put in place for that. So for me, right, instead of saying, hey, Jared is always going to be the chubby kid, what if there's a version of Jared that could be fit, healthy, and strong? What if there's a version of Jared that could feel good in his body? And what if that is possible? Okay, and look at other stories. That there are other people who have also struggled with their bodies in the past who have gotten into great shape. Okay, there are people who have struggled with love and had parents who struggled with love and also were able to build loving relationships. Okay, find stories to rewire. We call rewiring our brain neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is our brain's ability to adapt. Okay, to adapt and build what we call new neural pathways. Right now, if you're struggling in a specific area, you have a neural pathway that is limiting you. The story's right, telling you you're always chubby, you're always going to be the fat kid, that is limiting you. In order for you to change, we need to build a new neural pathway which says, for you, you can be healthy, fit, strong, lose weight, feel good in your body, and also love your life. You can do that. You can do that. I'm going to build this new imprint for you. Okay. Now, the best way to actually build these new neural pathways is by surrounding yourself with the right people, with better examples. What I mean by this is everyone around you sees you a certain way, or maybe they all have negative health habits, or maybe you have people who are fit, but they have a terrible self-esteem on the inside, and you're watching them like, I don't want to be an asshole like this guy, right? Whatever it is, if right now your surroundings are holding you in your pattern, holding your blocks, that will hurt you. What I have done is I've intentionally invested into myself, into communities, coaches, mentors, programs that help me rewire my brain, help me see, okay, it is safe for Jared, it is possible for Jared to be healthy, fit, and strong. It is safe for Jared to build a loving relationship. It is safe for Jared to make more money and do good in the world. Until I started to do those things, I was stuck. A big part of the Darren family, right, is we create this beautiful environment where there's gay men from all over the world creating better lives. Gay men who have all struggled with their bodies, who are building the body of their dreams, who got in incredible great shape. When you put yourself in an environment like that, right, like this, you start to see examples. You go, oh, this guy also was bullied for his body as a kid. This guy also struggled with binge eating, and now he is in great health, great condition, and he loves his life. He has a good relationship with food. Maybe I can too. Why can't I, right? And we surround ourselves with people who, we have a lot of guys, by the way, who had toxic breakups, really challenging relationships. Messages from their childhood where being gay is wrong, all these messages, right? We help them heal, and now they are in beautiful relationships. Some got engaged, some married. When you see these examples, you tell yourself the same story. I see these guys getting into great relationships, but they had a toxic 8-year, 10-year marriage that ended in divorce. Wow, he can do it. I can too. You see that? You see the power of that? Or we have guys who start businesses or create more income or gain promotions. They command more worthiness and respect in their workplace. Whilst beforehand they were stuck in toxic work environments or not being paid their worth. And you start to surround yourself with these guys, right? You say, oh wow, these guys are all building incredible businesses, they're making more money, they're loving their lives. You start to say, oh, maybe I can too. Maybe I can too. This is why the Daring Family was born, right? It was to not just help you build a great body, it's help you find your self-worth. It's to create a community of gay men who are all healing, building the lives they want, a lot of positivity and a healthy dosage of positivity, where we create an environment where success becomes normal. When we start to normalize success for you, right? And you also do what we call the unblocking work, you start to create the life of your dreams. Anyway, that's me for today for episode number 2, building confidence code for gay men. I want you to drop in the comments, message me direct. What are the key insights that you're noticing for yourself right now? What are the potential blocks that are holding you back? Have a look within. What are the potential blocks? And number 2 is, what are the new stories you need to rewrite for yourself that's going to help you? Number 3 is, who do you need to surround yourself with so that those stories become normalized? So that those stories, the new story, the new identity you want to build becomes normal and exciting and possible. And of course, if you want to apply for the Daring Family, we do have a strict application process because we want to make sure only the right people come in. By right people, right, we just mean the people with the right energy and intention. You want to grow, you want to heal, you want to have fun. You're willing to be vulnerable, to be authentic. You're willing to do the work, take ownership of your life. If you want to apply for that, send me a direct message on Instagram, Jared Bruce Lee, or feel free to subscribe to here, with my YouTube account, to the podcast, and find a way to send me that direct message. And I'm looking forward to see you guys soon. And just remember, it is possible for you to create the body, the love, the wealth, the life of your dreams. But it doesn't just fix itself. You do need to do the work, or it's called the inner work of healing, to change those stories first and foremost. Take the action, things can change. See you on the other side.